A very good morning to class 11th and class 12th students of political science. And students, welcome back to the online classes here. But today, before I start my topic here, I would like to give you certain important instructions, precautions and guidelines regarding COVID-19 virus. And these instructions have been given to you again and again, but this is a reminder for you. As you know it very well, now we are into unlock 5 stage, and so now we need to be more careful and more aware so that we can fight against this virus as we have been doing it from the last 6 or 7 months. So as we are into this lockdown now, so it has become very important for us to follow all the important instructions which are being given to you. Although these are important for me also, for you also, your family, friends, and you should also spread awareness regarding the important instructions and guidelines, or we can say the precautions which I am sharing. You can share it with your friends and family as well. So it is very important for us now, as we are opening up the schools for class 12th, and very soon we will be opening for class 11th as well. So it would be very important to keep these instructions in your mind and make it your habit and bring it into your daily practice, I would say. And so I'm sharing some of the important things here, so you need to hear it properly. As you can see it from here, COVID-19 appropriate behavior. That what should be the appropriate behavior to fight against this COVID-19. So here are some instructions, and you know them very well, but this is very important for you. As we know, we have to give you the reminders so that you keep understanding it, you keep it in your mind every time. So wear mask. This is very simple and basic. You know it that we have to wear mask, but it becomes very important that you have to wear this mask properly. No one is going to come and check you. It is not a formality. This is for your precaution, for your good health, for your good health of your family, your loving ones. So you need to wear the mask properly, in which you have to cover your mouth as well as your nose properly all the time. Okay. Follow physical distancing. It means social distancing, physical distancing. You have to maintain the distance of at least 6 feet from your friends, from any person when you are going to the market. As recently we have seen with lockdown 5, this is a festive season, we can say. You can say so much of rush in the market, and people are not taking precautions as they were doing it previously. Initially they were doing it, but as we have seen now, people are becoming bit we can say lenient towards these important guidelines to be followed. Then next thing is maintain hand hygiene. This is very important. Whenever you're going outside, when you're coming to your home, you must wash your hands properly with soap, sanitize your hands properly. Okay, when you are coming back from any place, and before eating you should sanitize your hands properly. So these are some of the repeated instructions which I will be sharing. Wear mask properly, and I hope you understand the meaning of properly. Properly means you have to cover your nose and mouth. Remember it. Do not remove it when you are traveling, when you are talking to someone. Always cover your mouth and nose. Stay at least 6 feet from the others, especially when you will be coming back to the school. It would be very important that you don't have to come in physical contact with your class teachers, with your teacher or anyone. You have to maintain a distance of at least 6 feet, and arrangements have been made in the school in such a way that we all will be following these instructions very strictly, because these are the instructions. If we follow it, we will have the good classes, and you will have the good experience in the school where we will have good classes. So but for that you need to keep these things in mind. And next you can see, you know these instructions, but it's a reminder for you. Wash your hands frequently, sanitize it again and again whenever you are touching the notebooks, tables. Basically avoid touching any of the things or any people coming in contact with anything. But still, if you are coming, you have to sanitize your hands, or you have to wash your hand with soap properly at least 20 seconds. It means 20 seconds are enough if you have to wash your hands properly. Remember to not touch your face. Yes, whenever you are outside, you are buying, you are in the market, you are in the school, you are doing anything, you don't have to touch your face with your hands. Although you might have sanitized your hand, still avoid touching your face. Face in the sense, you don't have to touch your eyes, you don't have to touch your nose, your mouth. That is, before eating you have to wash your hands properly. So these are some of the very important and basic instructions, and which are very important to fight against this virus. Do not share food or drinks with others. Although these are the general instructions for everyone, but whenever you are in the school also or and outside also, you don't have to share food with your friends or any drinks or any eatables with anyone. Okay, so these are some of the basic important instructions which you have to follow in the school or outside the school. Make it a habit, bring it into your daily life, so you will be able to manage all the instructions properly. Also spread awareness to your friends, family, and all your loving ones. So with this I come to end of these important instructions for you. I hope you will follow these instructions, although it is all important for me also and for everyone. So we will all together follow it. So with this I come to end of this instruction part. Now I will be starting for the topic for the day. Okay, thank you so much. A very good morning to all the students of class 11th political science. And students, we were doing the third chapter of your book Political Theory, that is the second book of your syllabus. And in the last video we were doing the third chapter, and we had finished equality of opportunities. So we had finished this topic, and today the new topic which we are going to start today is the part third. So this is the part third of the third chapter, and the topic which we will be covering today is the natural and social inequalities. So in the last video I think we had tried to cover that what are the desirable and acceptable type of inequalities and which are unacceptable type of inequalities in our society. So we have seen a difference between that, but in this we will try to understand what do we mean by natural inequalities and what are the social inequalities, and again we will relate these natural and social inequalities as the type of inequalities in the society which are acceptable and which are not acceptable, okay, which are not fair, I would say, or unjust. So let's first of all start and find the difference between these two terms, that is natural inequalities and social inequalities. So a distinction has sometimes been made in a political theory between natural inequalities and social produced inequalities. So if when we are talking about the political theory, there is a distinction and differences between these two type of inequalities, which are being produced, naturally produced inequalities, and some are socially produced inequalities, means produced in our society. Natural inequalities. So let's see what are the natural type of inequalities. So natural inequalities are those that emerge between people as a result of their different capabilities and talent. When people are born with different capabilities, talents, or characteristics, that we count under as natural. That is why we are using a term natural. That is by birth, when a person is born, he is born with some different talents, capabilities, okay, capacities. So we are different from each other. We all cannot be born with the same capabilities and same talents. So that is why we call this type of differences or inequalities as the natural inequality. Some may be very successful because they have the talent or they have some important skill which they have received by birth, and on the other hand, some may be born without that particular skill. So that type of inequality we will call as natural inequality. So these kinds of inequalities are different from, so they are saying here, these different these type of inequalities are different socially produced. So when we are comparing natural type of inequalities with socially produced inequalities, so socially produced inequalities are which emerge as a consequence of inequalities of opportunities or the exploitation. When we are not getting the equal opportunities because of our caste, color, language, religion, nationality, so because of these inequalities we'll face inequalities, and those are socially, because those society, in a society where we are living, that society has produced some type of inequalities because of which we are not getting equal opportunities, or some group of people or some group of our society is exploiting or showing their dominance over the other group of the society. That's why it's written the exploitation of some group in the society by other. One group is exploiting or showing dominance over the other group of the society. So these type of inequalities which we find in the society, these are called socially produced inequalities. So this is the basic difference between natural and socially produced inequalities. Example has been given here which I shall be considering later on because it is relevant to the topic which we will be doing down here. Men, this men is saying men are superior to women it is a natural inequality. You can't do anything about it. He's saying men are more superior to women, especially in a society in India, in our civilization, where we call our society as a male dominated society, where males are more dominant and more of the importance. Now the time has changed, but previously it used to be like that. You can't do anything. So he's saying men are superior to women. It is a natural inequality. You can't do anything about it. On the other hand, this woman is saying, I get more marks than you in every subject, and I also help my mothers in the household. What makes you superior? What is the reason you are calling yourself superior? I have to do my work at home with my helping my mother. Also, I am good in studies as compared to you. I am getting better marks. So how come you are like superior to me? So this is a, we can say, debate or confusion, conflict going on between this male and female. So we'll conclude and consider this example later on. Let's move forward with this topic. Now, natural inequalities are considered to be a result of the different characteristics and abilities which with person are born. So again, they are explaining what are the natural inequalities. Those are the inequalities considered the result of the different, when we have the different characteristics and abilities, skills, talents, capacities, which we get by our birth. When we were born with such characteristics, such abilities, such talents, such skills. Okay, so that is our natural inequalities. It is generally assumed that natural differences cannot be altered. It means we cannot stop or change the natural inequalities. If someone is born by some capacities, some capabilities, some talent, that cannot be changed. If he is intelligent, he is to be intelligent. It cannot be altered. There cannot be made any changes if there are any natural inequalities. But on the other hand, social inequalities on the other hand are also created by society. But these social inequalities are not by nature or are not by the when we are born. These are created. This type of environment is created by the society, where there is lot of discrimination on the basis of caste, color, religion, language, and etc. Certain societies may also, for instance, value those who perform intellectual work. There are various societies, if you see, especially in India, we always give respect and importance to the people who are more intellectual, who are doing intellectual work over those who are doing manual work. Okay, so there will be a group of people who are doing intellectual work. Okay, who are not working physically, but they are sharp with their mind. They are sitting in the offices, they are working, they are making the plans for the people. But there will be other part of the people or other group who is doing manual work. So we are always going to give preference and value to the people who are doing the intellectual work rather than the people who are doing manual work, and reward them differently. So we will reward them differently, we will treat them differently, because we think the people who are intellectually very good, who are doing the intellectual work, they need more respect, and our behavior will be altogether different if we talk about the people who are doing intellectual work and the people who are doing manual work. They may treat differently people of different race. They may treat differently people of different race, different color, different gender, different caste. In society, we will see the people in a society whose behavior will change with the people of different race. When they are talking to different type of people, different race, they have different behavior. Different color, they have a different behavior. When they are talking to different type of gender, they have different behavior. Even caste. So as you in the caste is the best example. If there are Brahmins, Hindus, Kshatriyas, Shudras, SC, STs, OBCs, you know all these categories which comes under caste. So there are always difference in behavior of the people when we talk about caste as well. Differences of this kind reflect the value of society. So when we differentiate people on the basis of caste, color, gender, caste, or on the way they work intellectually or manually, by all this we try and understand that difference of kind reflect the values of society. What are the values of that particular society? We will come to know when we will go through all these differences, and some of them may certainly appear to us and unjust. And when we see all the functioning, all the social inequalities, when we'll see in the society, and we'll find that these inequalities are, many of them are unjust. As in the last video I said that every inequality we cannot say are unjust, as they are in a society. If we have, our society has to be functional, we have different functions for which there are different type of group of peoples, and everyone cannot be same or cannot be treated equally, identically. So But if those differences are based on the caste, color, gender, so it means there is inequality. Okay, but if those inequalities are based on the natural inequalities, we can say by abilities, skills, talents, so by choices, it means we can accept those inequalities. But inequalities because of the society which has created, these are unacceptable. This distinction is sometimes useful in helping us to distinguish between acceptable and unfair inequalities. So when we talk about the distinction difference between natural and society created inequalities, these are helpful for us to understand that which type of inequalities are acceptable by the society and which are not acceptable in the society. But it is not always very clear or self evident. It is helpful, but we cannot say that we can completely depend on these two distinctions, that is natural and society based inequalities, but they are helpful. For instance, we can say when certain inequalities in the treatment of people have existed over a long period of time, they may appear to us as justifiable because on the natural inequalities, that is characteristics that people are born with and cannot easily change. They are saying like we have seen many inequalities and many treatment with the people which have been existed in our society from a very long period. Like if we talk about women and male and female, the status of female and male, we see that men are more superior. So this is not we cannot exactly say this is a natural inequality, but society has created it and we have followed it. So in the current scenario, we feel that yes, this is correct, but although this is not correct. Here it's written, for example, women were so long described as the weak sex. We call them weak sex, weak gender as compared to male. Considered timid, they were called timid, they were less intelligent. They were supposed to be less intelligent than as compared to men. Needing special protection, they are weak, emotionally they are weak, they need protection of men. So all these characteristics were considered for women, and according to which it was always believed that men was more superior than women. And this people has been accepting it from the centuries, I would say, and this has become to as a natural inequality where people has accepted. Nobody raises their voice against this type of treatment with women. But recently, if we see in 21st century, a lot of changes have come up. Therefore, it was felt that denying women, so because of this, that we thought women are weak and as compared to men, we have denied women equal rights. Women were not given equal rights. Writing votes were also not given in the past, could be justified. Same way, black people, if you see South Africa, it was believed, it was automatically accepted by people that if they are black, they have to do manual work, they are not intelligent, they are physically strong, they have to do only manual work, and they will be the slave. So we accepted slavery as natural to black people, although that was not natural. That was, we had accepted those type of behavior from the people who were at the ruling platform. This belief was used to justify institutions like slavery. So since we had accepted this colonial that blacks were under the colonial masters, and so we accepted slavery, although this was not natural. All these assessments are now questioned, but now these are assessments are questioned, like status of women or status of black people. Why we have accepted this? Why there was no raising of voice? No people were against this, because we thought this is natural, people had accepted it. Okay, so there are now questions raised to this question. Now let's see the other problem. If we talk about the distinctions between natural and socially given inequalities, another problem which arises with the idea of natural differences is that some differences which could be considered natural need no longer be seen as unalterable. Were some differences which were called as natural differences, and they were told to be unaltered, but now they can be altered easily. For instance, advances in medical, as we have seen, there has been a lot of inventions and advancements in the field of science and technologies. So this has helped many disabled people to function effectively. Previously, anyone who was born disabled, so he had it was said that okay, he is disabled, so it's a natural inequality, he cannot fight with the people who are fit and healthy. But with the technological advancement, now the disabled people can function effectively in society. For today, computer can help blind people. If who are blind, computer are helping the blind people. There are wheelchairs, there are artificial limbs. Anyone having the problem in the hands, legs, or any body part, there are artificial limbs. that help in case of physical disability. So if anyone has a physical disability, there are artificial limbs as well. So all these scientific technologies and advancement has helped those eradicating the natural differences which were previously told as unalterable. Here we can also see an example. Even a person looks can be changed, and even our face or our looks can be changed with cosmetic surgery. So these are some of the advancements of the science and medical fields. The famous physicist, for example, they have taken, there is a famous physicist, you must have heard the name, Stephen Hawking, can hardly move or speak. He was not able to walk, he was not able to move, and in fact you could not say that his mind was so sharp that he has a very good contribution in the field of science and especially physics. He would seem it would seem unjust to most people today if disabled people are denied necessary help. So it would be unjust today. Previously it used to be just, okay, he is disabled, so he cannot show his talent, he cannot do anything, so they were left behind. But if in the current scenario we see in the 21st century, it would be called unjust if we do not give opportunities to disabled people where they can show their skills and talents. So we are helping them, and it is very important. So it is written, denied necessary help to overcome the effects of their disability or fair reward for their work on the ground that they are naturally less capable. Okay, I hope you have understood this, what I'm trying to explain you through natural and social inequalities. Given all these complexities, it would be difficult to use the natural and socially produced distinctions as the standards by which laws and policies of society can be assessed. So it means we cannot put a standard as natural and socially produced inequalities. On that basis, we cannot make laws and policies for the society that which are acceptable by the society, which type of inequalities are accepted and which type of inequalities are unaccepted. As we can see, a lot of changes in the natural and socially produced inequalities. For this reason, many theories today differentiate between inequalities arising. So that is why many political theorists or political thinkers, scholars, they are differentiating the inequalities arising from our choices. So they are differentiating that the inequalities which are coming because of our choices, our capabilities, our capacities, that inequalities can be accepted by our society. But if there are any inequalities which are coming by because of the birth or because of the family background, those type of inequalities are unfair. Okay, so this was the topic about natural and socially produced inequalities. In the next video we shall be doing this topic, 3 dimensions of equality. I shall be assigning you certain questions. You have to do that. Till then, thank you. Take care.